What's going on? What's going on, people? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. We're back at it. What's cooking? What's cookalicious? Hope you all are doing good. Come on in, come on in. Just gonna wait a few minutes for you all to join in. Come on in, folks. Come on in. Please do like, share, invite someone to come into today's session. We are talking about relationships. It being the month of February, we're talking about love. Today is just a little bit of a teaser. We're doing the intro today. So today is the intro for what we will be talking about throughout February. So we are talking about relationships. We're talking about love. We're talking about dating. We're talking about sex. So invite someone, give someone a shout who needs to be all up in here, who needs to hear about this today. Love, sex, relationships, dating. That's what we're talking about throughout the month of February. And today is just a teaser. Today we've got a teaser for you. We're just going to sprinkle a little bit of something for you guys. And next week is going to be fire. Trust me, you don't want to miss this out. So, yes, sir. Hope you all are right. Hope you all are doing good. Hope you've all had a wonderful week. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Just going to give it a few more minutes and allow a few people to come in. We are live on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. So please do invite someone. Tell them we are live. Tell them to jump on. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about it. Let's unpack this thing and see what it do. Usually relationships, sex, and dating is usually a topic that we seldom talk about in churches. But today we really want to unpack this. We want to talk about this. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear what you have to say. Love, sex, relationships, dating. We are dealing with it all throughout the month of February. And today we're just giving you a bit of a tester. This is the tester of what the whole month is going to be like. So it should be fun. It should be fun. We're going to have fun. I'm expecting you guys to interact with me, talk to me, give me a shout, ask questions. Let's deal with this the right way, the way that we should. Invite someone, share this, invite someone. Let's talk about it. Again, today is just a teaser. Today is just a tester. But throughout the whole month of February, we will be talking about relationships, dating, marriage, sex, soul ties, all that, sexual immorality, all that. We will be dealing with that. And we really want to unpack a little bit of that. So I hope everyone is doing great. I hope everyone is doing good. I'm gonna get it cracking. We are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we are on Instagram live. I see some of you all are, all around the different platforms, but we are live on all these platforms. And as I said, we are dealing with relationships. We are discussing and we're talking about relationships in February, it being the month of love, it being the month of Valentine's. We really want to deal with this subject and really want to unpack it and understand what was God's intention when it comes to relationships, when it comes to dating, when it comes to marriage. What is God's intentions with that? Our guiding scripture for today, I'm not going to read all of it, but our guiding scripture is Genesis 2, verses 21 to 24. If you want to make a note of that, Genesis 2, verses 21 to 24, it reads, "And for Adam, and Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But," mark this, "but for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him." No helpmeet was found for Adam. This helpmeet was not found for Adam. And it wasn't that Adam was not complete. Adam was complete. He was whole as one as he is. The same way you are complete all by your J's, all by yourself. You don't need no one's son, you don't need no one's daughter to complete you. You are whole as you are, right? But the Bible says no helpmeet was found. No one was found to help Adam be. No one was found at the time to help Adam be, to help him be himself, to help him be all that he can be, to help him discover all that he could discover within himself, with the world around him. No one could be found to help him enjoy the finer things in life, to help him enjoy everything that was that God had blessed him with. No one could be found. The helpmeet was not there to help Adam be whole or to be complete, because he was already complete. You are already complete. You are already complete. But he needed someone to help him be all that he can be, to help him peel that onion and remove all those layers and find himself and find his potential and find all that God has stored in him. Someone to encourage him, someone to push him, someone to help guide each other, and someone to express what God had put in him and reflect off that individual, notably love. Someone to love, because God is love and he had put love in Adam. So Adam needed somebody that he could love. No helpmate could be found. Dig this, right? With relationships, at any given time, with relationships, you have 3 dimensions. In fact, I'll say 4 dimensions of relationships. There are 4 levels or 4 types of relationships that you will see. Okay, I'll quickly put together this diagram. I hope you guys can see this. I hope you can see this. It symbolizes the cross. I'm rubbish at drawing. You have upwards relationships. Upwards relationships. Everyone has these relationships because it's relationships with your parents. It's relationships with your managers, with your leaders. It's relationship with your pastors. It's relationship with God. These are relationships that you look up to. These are relationships that feed you. One way or another, you benefit from having that relationship, sometimes more than the individual, right? And then you have downwards relationships. I apologize if you can't see, but we have downwards relationships. These are relationships with individuals perhaps that you mentor, relationships with your own kids, relationships with individuals that look up to you, with your younger siblings, with your younger cousins, with people that look up to you, people that you mentor, people that you lead in your capacity, perhaps individuals in your team. There are people that look up to you. So you have upwards relationships and you have downwards relationships. Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. Follow me. So these individuals are following you. You are leading them as Christ is leading you, as someone else is leading you, as someone else is inspiring you and motivating you. And then you have what I call across the board relationships. Across the board relationships. These are relationships with your peers, people that you are at par with, people that you are on the same level with, people that you can relate to, you can speak the same language, and you understand each other. So for Adam, it is saying that he had named all these cattle. He had individuals that were below him. He had individuals that were looking up to him, right? And at the same time, he had God that he would converse with, because he would often come to the garden in the cool of the day, and he would converse with Jehovah. But nobody was at the same level as Adam. Nobody could help Adam be. No one could help Adam be himself. No one could help Adam explore and experience certain things, because no one was at his level. He needed someone who could relate to him through and through. God understood everything that Adam went through, but Adam did not understand God. He did not fully understand God. He understood the animals because they were at a lower dimension than him, but they could not relate to Adam on that level. He needed somebody who could relate to him on that level. So you have relationships that are across the board, your peers, people that you are at par with. And that also includes a partner. With your partner, whether you're male or you're female, you are at par, you are at the same level, you understand each other. But the critical thing that I want to draw your attention to is the middle part of the cross, right? This is you. This is you. So if you're going to have success in relationships, be it upwards, downwards, or across the board, it starts with you. Every successful relationship that you are going to have starts with yourself. If you're going to have a great marriage, it starts with you. If you're going to have a great relationship with your kids, it starts with you. That means you need to address certain baggages that you may have, a certain level of baggage which you carry, which you bring into this relationship. If you're going to have a great relationship with God, you need to address certain insecurities. I know of individuals who struggle to accept God as their father because they grew up without a dad, or their father had denied them, had rejected them. Therefore, how can someone that I can feel, someone that I can touch, reject me, and yet this person that I can't see is saying, I'm my father? I can't accept that. They couldn't fully understand that. So if you're going to have a successful relationship of any kind, you have to address your personal issues. The abuse that you have suffered, that you have endured, you have to deal with that. You have to address your insecurities. The insecurities that you have, you need to understand your triggers. I was just having a conversation with my cousin this afternoon. Of course, it's much more on a lighter level, but we were just talking about greens with peanut butter, and I said, now I can't have that, because for me they represent poverty. They don't actually represent poverty, but I remember back in the days in my household, we would eat that if something was missing, if something was off, if there wasn't enough something, right? So we would eat that. So for me, they are some form of a trigger. I don't like to have them around, right? Even in relationships, I see how I behave sometimes with my wife. There are certain things that are not a big deal, but they are a trigger for me, and somehow they seem like they are a big deal. So you have to address your insecurities, your triggers, so you don't mess up something that is great, that is before you. You have to find inner happiness within yourself, so your happiness doesn't hinge on someone's son or on someone's daughter, and you don't put on them these ridiculous expectations that no one can meet. So you need to find out Why do you feel the way you feel about certain issues? Why do you react the way you react to certain things? Why do you think the way you think about certain things? You have to be able to address those things and heal and grow from those things. If you're going to have a successful relationship, a successful marriage, you need to be whole. You can never be happy if you're broken, because you will never be satisfied. Nothing will ever fill that hole. So you can never be happy if you are broken. If you are broken, so you need to be whole. Jesus said to one, "Wilt thou be made whole?" Being whole means that your mind, your body, your soul has been healed. You've been healed from past traumas. You've been healed from past relationships. Believe you me, being past relationships, sometimes when we come out, we've been used, we've been abused, we've been spit out, we've been hurt. And sometimes, if we don't deal with that mess, we will take it to the next relationship and wonder why we are yielding the same result as we did in the past relationship. Because we are carrying that trauma. All we did was put a bandage around that wound, but that wound has not been healed. We've just put a plaster around that, but we haven't been healed. So you need to heal. Every successful relationship starts with yourself. It starts with yourself. Every successful relationship, if you're going to be in one, it will start with yourself. I want to bring your attention to what verse 20 says in the same scripture of Genesis 2. It says, "And for Adam, a suitable helper could not be found." This means there was an element of searching which took place. There was somehow a search was conducted. It wasn't necessarily conducted by Adam, because Adam probably didn't even know that he was lonely. He probably didn't even realize that there was something missing. And yet God said it is not good for homeboy to be alone, to be on his journey. So what does he do? What does he do? He goes on a search. How are you searching? How are you searching? Where are you searching? Until the club is probably not the best place to be searching for a life partner. How are you searching? How are you searching for this potential partner who you will build a life with? Where are you searching for this partner? You need to ask yourself those questions. You need to church is the best place, I would say, but sometimes it's not the best place. I'm sorry to say. I am sorry to say. Where are you searching? Are you searching according to the order of God, or are you searching according to the order of the world? How are you searching? Through prayer. Somebody said, "I'm searching through prayer." Okay, I feel that. Through prayer. How do you know then when your prayer has been answered? Does God bring this individual? Does God confirm that such and such? I want you to know, God seldom tells people such and such is going to be your wife, or such and such is going to be your husband. He seldom does that. I want you to know. Because human beings are crazy. That's the reason why. Human beings are crazy. He will tell you that. And when it goes wrong, not when it goes wrong, but when push comes to push and you got to work, because you will have to work in marriage, suddenly you want to blame God. So God said, "I've given you free will, I've given you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. When you choose a wife that is compatible to you," and I'll touch on compatibility in a bit. So there is very few people who God has told you have to marry such and such. One of them being Adam. Adam didn't have a choice on who he was going to marry. Hosea didn't have a choice on who he was going to marry. Jeremiah was told, you can't even get married. You can't even get married. But for most of us, we've had a choice on who we marry. On who we marry. But how we search, he who finds a good wife finds a good thing. The good thing is not the wife. I want you to know that the good thing is not the wife. The good thing is the marriage. The good thing is the fruit of what you guys produce together. The good thing is the love, joy, and happiness. The good thing is the friendship. The good thing is not the wife. It doesn't matter how banging she is. Beauty fades. The good thing is the marriage, is the home that you build. That is the good thing. So how are you searching? Are you searching according to the world? The world will have you say date 5 people at the same time until you find the one that you want to spend more time with. And of course, we all know what dating means in the actual sense of things, that you're just getting to know people. You're just speaking with people at a certain level. That's what the world does. It doesn't tell you that that could bring about confusion. Suddenly, you don't know. It doesn't tell you that it could bring about soul ties and it could bring about entanglements by just speaking with all these people. It doesn't tell you all of those things because it is not according to the order of God. Remember, when Adam sinned and he gave the kingdoms, which the Bible is the cosmos of the world, to the devil. In Luke, the Bible says, the devil said, these were delivered to me. I will give you these kingdoms. I can give them to whomever I please. And he's speaking to Jesus and he says, for these were delivered to me. These kingdoms, who delivered them to him? Adam delivered them to him because he was the custodian of the earth. He delivered them to him. And when he delivered that to him, a number of things went out of order. And one of them was relationships. Relationships became out of order. They became out of sync to the purpose of which God had created them to be. So which mode of searching are you using? According to the order of God or according to the order of the world? You have to ask yourself that. Are you trying to find someone to cuddle with, or you're trying to find someone to build with? Cuddling is temporary. Cuddling has to end. You can't cuddle. You can't cuddle all day, all night long. Or are you looking for someone to build with? When you're searching according to the order of God, you have to look beyond the sensual senses. You have to operate at a slightly higher dimension. Look beyond that six-pack. Look beyond that bow tie. Look beyond how fine she is. Look beyond his financial capacity and ability and capability. Does this person have a good heart? Will this person love your kids if you have kids already? Will they love your kids as their own? Will this person love and appreciate your family? Will this person tolerate you, all of you? Not just the side which he or she is seeing at this moment because you're dating and they don't have the opportunity to see all of you. You gotta look beyond the sensual senses, what the eyes see. The order of the world, you search and you find. But the order of the kingdom, the order of God is he searches, he sought on behalf of Adam, and Adam found. He searches, you find. The order of the world is you search and you find. He searches, you find. Two different things. When he searches, he will bring before you the right person. Work still has to be done. Do not get me wrong. But it will bring before you the right person. Which means when you are searching, you have to see the potential person through the eyes of God. See how God sees. You can't see the way you see. That's why I was asking. His heart, her heart. The potential that is in the individual. 1 Samuel 16, but the Lord said to Samuel, do not look at his appearance or at his physical stature. Do not focus on his appearance. Don't focus on his six-pack. Don't focus on the coupe he drives. What type of being is he? His sense of humor, his love for God, his love for people in general. Is he able to submit? I'll repeat that. Is he able to submit? Stop messing around with dudes who refuse to submit. Everyone, one way or another, has to submit. Everyone has to submit. They have to Okay, I'm going to say this. Everyone has to submit. Wives have to submit. Husbands have to submit. Everyone has to be submissive. That the wife has to submit to their husband. I'm sick and tired of these independent women who say, I ain't submitting. You submit to your boss. Your boss tells you what to do. One way or another, everyone submits. Husbands have to submit. They have to submit. You have to submit to the sanctity of your marriage, to the sanctity of your house. You have to submit. You have to be accountable. So when you're messing around with these dudes, see how they are with authority. If this individual doesn't deal well with authority, run the other way. I promise you, run the other way. How are they with authority? Are they caring? Are they loving? Will they go all out for you? Are they willing to be a fool for you? Are they willing to humiliate themselves for you? What you won't do, you will do for love. You try everything, but you won't give up. What type of fella is this? What type of girl is this? Is this person going to be there for you in sickness and in health, in poor and in for richer for poor? I gotta talk about compatibility. Compatibility. 2 Corinthians 6:40 says, do not be unequally yoked together. Do not be unequally yoked. This is not necessarily talking about, different spiritual, or rather, it's not limited to different spiritual beliefs and different spiritual levels. It's not limited to that. But intellectually, you gotta be with somebody who stimulates you intellectually. Your sense of humor, your beliefs cannot be unequally yoked. What is this person's view on raising kids? How many kids do they want? What about holidays? Do you love to travel? Do they love to travel? And when they travel, what do they want to do? For example, When I travel, I want to do nothing. I don't want to go sightseeing. I don't want to whatnot. To the dismay of my wife, she loves being a tourist. But what type of compatibility do you have with each other? Do you have a similar drive, similar vision? Do you like the same things? Are you into the same things? And compatibility doesn't mean that all those boxes have to be ticked, but this is talking about your dating days. You have to get to know each other. What is their attitude towards money? Do they spend? Do they save? Do you spend? Do you save? What is their credit rating? What are their ambitions? Where do they want to find themselves in the next 5 years? Where do they see themselves in the next 5 years? In the next 10 years? Is it where you see yourself as well? When they talk, do they talk as a me? Or are they including you into their future plans? Dating is important. Dating is not necessarily biblical because it teaches us how to run. It teaches us how to run. But dating is important in the sense that you need to find out what you're getting yourself into. You need to find out what exactly are you getting yourself into with this individual. In dating, that's where you lay the foundation of the relationship. What is your love language? Figure out what your love language is. Some people love to touch. Some people are all about the kissing. Some people are all about the bass. Some people, all they want to do is, some people love gifts, words of affirmation. What is your love language? What is it that they're all about? Pip this, right? Verse 21, this is interesting. This is extremely interesting. Speaking of relationships according to God's word, the Bible says in verse 21, and God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. Now, according to the Dictionary of Hebrew Languages, the words used for deep sleep literally mean supernaturally induced state of very deep sleep, often applying to a revelation or action of God is about to happen. So, fellas, I've got news for you. A woman is a revelation. She comes to reveal who you are, and you reveal to her who she is. You are peeling each other's onions. As a result, when you come together, I want you to know you are good individually, but when you come together, because of what is in you, you have to peel greatness of each other. You have to spring forth into greatness. When you come together, you cannot marry someone or you cannot be with someone simply because they make you laugh. If someone makes you laugh, just laugh. You can't marry someone just because of that. Greatness. Let me say this in passing because I probably won't even have time to deal with this. There are currencies, different currencies in the kingdom of God. Faith being one of them, and one of them being relationships. God will link certain people together for a specific purpose or agenda, a kingdom agenda that He has. So relationships, this is both platonic and this is also eros, are a currency in the kingdom. So when you come together, when you guys are joined together, greatness, you have to reveal to each other what you are made of, what God has put in you, not necessarily revealing to each other, but you push each other to be better. You push each other to get to the next level. That's why you need to be equally yoked. That's why you need to be compatible. And that's why your vision needs to be one. That's why you need to be on the same page. So you can push each other, so you can drive each other, so you can peel mediocrity off each other and expose your greatness. This ain't no game up in the streets. We come to be all that we can. We come to be the best of what God has made us to be. So a woman is a revelation. A good woman will help you discover the king in you. And you will reveal or help her discover the queen in her. She's not your slave. She's not subservient to you. You both serve each other. You serve. You are there to serve each other. Your roles may be different, but by God, you are all equal. Your roles are different. You're all there to serve each other, nurture each other, encourage each other, comfort each other. He was put in deep sleep. Who is God putting you in deep sleep for? Who is God putting you in deep sleep for? And then he goes on to say, and then he took out one of his ribs. One of his ribs. In fact, it reads, and he took out one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which he taken out of the woman, taken out of man, he made the woman and brought her unto him. In other words, God cut the side of Adam. He cut his side. Whenever there is cutting, whenever you see cutting in the Bible and there is blood, this usually refers to covenant. Covenant. In other words, for your relationship to be successful, you need to be in covenant. Number one, you need to be in covenant with God, who is the author and the founder, who is the creator, who is the foundation of your relationship. He is the author and the finisher of your relationship. And you need to be in covenant with one another. You need to be in covenant with one another. You need to trust each other. Your people become, her people becomes your people. His people become your people. In the olden days, speaking of covenants, which I'll expound in a bit, in the olden days, how they got into covenant is when two individuals are not necessarily in an eros or erotic relationship, but it could be filial, it could be just platonic or whatnot. If they loved each other, they would come or get into covenant. And how they did that is he would or she would cut himself and he would cut himself, and they would exchange blood. They would exchange the blood, and afterwards, when that wound healed, there will be a mark or a sign. And whenever you saw that individual and you saw that there is a cut or a mark and you're about to start a fight with them, you would pause a little bit because you realize that they're in covenant with someone and you don't know who they're in covenant with and how powerful that person is. Because now their loved ones become their loved ones, their enemies become their enemies, their people become their people. So if you're in covenant with someone, your people become their people, your loved ones become their loved ones, your enemies become their enemies, your God becomes their God. And that's why sometimes you don't even realize with the people that you're sleeping with and you're entering into covenant. You don't know who their gods are, you don't know who their people are. And you're entering into covenant with them, including their gods, including their people. You are now in covenant, and I will expound on this. We did say this is the relationship series that we will be dealing with throughout February, and we will touch on soul ties in the next in the coming weeks. Covenant. Who you sleeping with, child? Who you sleeping with? You go enter into covenants and you ain't even know. Cutting. So whenever you see cutting and blood, it speaks of covenants. Covenants. Most of us have been in covenants with a gazillion people and we don't even realize it. Can I tell you something? In most cases, we say, "Oh, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe in soul ties. I don't believe." The devil doesn't care what you believe and don't believe. He doesn't care that you don't believe that. He's counting on you not believing that. He feeds on your ignorance. What you believe and or don't believe will not make a difference. Covenants. Who are you entering into? You can enter into a covenant with someone without you even realizing. A covenant literally means a contract. How many of us have signed a work contract without reading? You know they've given you a job, you know how much they pay you, but you don't read the fine print. We just signed the contract. You just signed the contract. You've entered into covenant and you don't know what you're getting into. And suddenly when you need leave or when you need maternity or paternity, they tell you to refer back to your contract and you find out that you're not eligible. Because when you entered it, you didn't know what you were getting yourself into. The devil doesn't care. Covenants, it doesn't matter whether you know what you're getting yourself into or not. It makes no difference to him. This ain't no game. Who are you getting into covenant with? Who are you getting into covenant with? You have to be careful who you get into covenant with. Now, verse 23 goes on to say, and Adam said, now this is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Bones speak of structure. For every relationship to be successful, it must have structure. Structure means a construct or arrange according to plan. Structure originates from the Middle Latin denoting to process of building. It means to build. In order to build a successful relationship, or in order to build anything, you need to build it according to the blueprint, or according to the plan, to a plan. God said to Moses, build according to the pattern shown you on the mountain. How are you building your relationship? Who or what is your blueprint? Stop looking at people that you see out on road and saying goals when you see them holding hands or when you see them on TV. You don't know what their real you don't know what the reality of their relationship is. You don't know what their blueprint is. You need to build your relationship according to the blueprint of God. What does he say about relationships? And if you're going to build something strong, You need to have a strong foundation. What is the foundation of your relationship? What are you building your relationship on? Are you building your relationship on sinking sands, on fickle ground? What are you building your relationship on? You gotta build your relationship from a strong foundation. What are you guys talking about during your dates when you go out for sushi? What are you pursuing with each other? What do you discuss? How do you guys argue when you're arguing? How do you come to a resolution? How do you reach a resolution? Your foundation matters. Your foundation, the foundation of your relationship matters. You're dating, are you sleeping together? Statistics show that marriages that last longer are marriages that waited to have sex. They didn't have sex until they got married. Statistics shows this. What is your foundation? Did you steal him from someone? Did you steal her from someone? Did you cheat together? What is your foundation? If he or she cheated with you, believe you me, he or she is going to cheat with someone else. What is the foundation of your relationship? Is God the foundation of your relationship? This is February. Talk to me, guys. This is February. We're all dealing and talking about love. We are all hoping and expecting to get a Valentine's present. Somebody got to take us out on that. But what is the foundation of that relationship? What is the foundation of that relationship? Bones, speaking of bones, are also one of the separate parts of the human or animal skeleton. After death, the bones retain their form after the soft tissues have decomposed. Bones are a lifetime. Your skin will go kaput, but bones will remain and maintain their structure. This speaks of God's original plan that marriages are supposed to last a lifetime. Marriages are supposed to last a lifetime. That's why you need to do your due diligence. When you stop dating someone simply because they just look fine. So don't marry someone just because they look fine. Beyond them being fine, who are they? Beyond them making you laugh, who are they? Now, I want you to know, if you have been in a marriage and it was not successful, that doesn't mean that God will not bless you. That doesn't mean that God looks at you as a tainted thing. No. No. Far be it, far be it. And that is not what I'm saying or trying to say. But the order of relationships was that God wanted marriages to last for long. We'll speak about divorce in the next session, but God did not put divorce into motion. Man put divorce into motion. Obviously, if you're in an abusive relationship, it's a different story to say to someone, stay when they're being beaten left, right, and center, they're being emotionally abused. If, Jesus even says that if someone, if there's sexual immorality in the relationship, that is cause for one to leave. Don't get me wrong. But the original intent for God was for marriages to last a lifetime. Gotta let that simmer. So I want you to think about it. As we enter into these relationships, what are we building our relationships on? What is our foundation? What is the structure that we are setting and building our relationships into? What is the structure? And then, finally, verse 24, which I'll be shutting down with this. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother's house, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Which means you gotta leave your mama and your daddy's house. Gotta leave your mom and your dad's house. Your parents no longer have influence, or a heavy influence on you, because when you leave, you're essentially saying, I'm now an adult. I am prepared and ready to build my own family. Your parents still deserve and are given honor. They take their place as your parents, as patriarchs, as matriarchs. They take their place, but you are now starting your own culture. You are now starting your own family, your own house. That means your wife comes first. That means your husband comes first. Your parents next. It doesn't mean that you are neglecting them. It doesn't mean that you love your husband more than you love your parents, or your wife more than you love your parents. It's two different kinds of love. But your house cometh first. Your house comes first. So you leave your mother and your father's house. You leave with the fundamentals that they have taught you, with the principles that they have taught you. You leave with what you have observed, what you have learned through observation. That's why it's important, if there are parents on here, that's why it's extremely important to have the right atmosphere in your household when it comes to, because your kids are learning from observing the two of you. If your house is messed up when it comes to relationships, that's what you learn. So when you leave your parents' house and you start your own home, you don't know anything different. That's why I started by saying every relationship starts with you. You are at the center of that cross. You are at the center, so you have to address you. You have to address you. Because if you don't address you, your issues, your baggage, when you're in your own house, when you've left your mother and your father's house, you will bring that mess and mess everything up. He shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. The word cleave is in two parts. The first part, which everybody always gravitates towards, is stick together, right? Stick to, or stick very close. But the word cleave is to split. It is to split. And he shall cleave unto his wife. Split, it means to split. A woman may bleed when she has penetrative sex for the first time because of a hymen stretching or tearing. The hymen is a thin piece of skin that partially covers the entrance of the vagina. For some women, it may stretch or tear when they start having sex. So when the Bible says, the man shall cleave unto his wife, it means he shall split her. That bleeding, it means they shall enter into a blood covenant. He shall enter into a blood covenant with her, and they become one. You enter into a blood covenant with each other, and you become one. Leave your mommy and your daddy's house. You get with Bay, and when you're with Bay, you are one, which means you have one mission, you have one vision. which means you're all working towards the same goal. By the time it gets to this stage, you would have laid your foundation, you would have sorted out yourselves. You cannot get to this stage if you don't know what this person's view is on raising kids, how many kids they want, what their view is on tithing, on giving, what their view is on marriage, what their understanding of what submission is. You cannot get to this stage. Do not get to this stage without knowing that. So many marriages they have broken I'm not sure if the guys on Instagram can hear me now. This thing is kind of played up. But so many marriages have broken simply because people didn't lay the right foundation, and they didn't address certain things that they ought to have addressed. Let me know if you can still hear me on Instagram, by the way. What is the foundation? And are you prepared to cleave, to forsake all, to have this person's people be your people? This is not the way that the world says when it says my people become the people. This is when Ruth's husband died, she still clung to her mother-in-law because her mom-in-law became her mom, her people. It means when you are married, your mother-in-law is your mother. You ride and die for her the same way you ride and die for your mom. Same as your father-in-law, same as your in-laws. That doesn't mean that you tolerate abuse from any of them. That's not what I'm saying. That doesn't mean that you tolerate being taken advantage of. That's not what I'm saying. But once you're in covenant with that person, you're riding until the wheels fall off. I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be good. This was just a bit of a teaser, right? Next week, we are going even further and even deeper. I'll be touching on interesting topics. We will be talking about sex. Next week, I think we'll talk about the order and the disorder of relationships. And then we'll talk about sex. We will talk about dating. We'll talk about soul ties. We will talk about pornography. We want to discuss all of those things in February. So please do ensure that you are back here next week, same time, same place. Do inform someone, let them know that we are doing this thing. In the year of 2023, we are building our relationships. We are not playing, we are pushing and pushing and pushing. And the devil shall not stop us from having successful and building successful relationships. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful evening. I will see you here next week, same time, same place.